the news.
Hello, new Paltz. This is Joel. I'm a puppet. If you've been around the Hudson Valley at some point, you may have noticed a sign like this. And ask yourself, whoa. Maybe you meant to look it up later, but always forget until the next time and you see the sign again. This time somewhere else, and the question burrows its head into your brain like a worm that slowly devours all other questions, leaving you waking up in the middle of the night screaming, "What is the Hazy Rhythm Wonder Band?" Well, today we kill that worm with answers in a segment we call Whoa. Well, new Paltz, I am here with Bruce from the Hazy Rhythm Wonder Band. Bruce, tell me, how long have you been doing the Hazy Rhythm Wonder Band?
In a sense, I've kind of been doing the Hazy Rhythm Wonder Band since I've been born, because it's basically just how I, relate to the universe and do it through music. Doing what I do and sharing it with the world. I started in the house I grew up in, basically just with a 4-track tape recorder, and recorded the ideas I had, and then dubbed a bunch of cassette tapes and, left them in random places for people to find, and it's kind of evolved since then.
I took a hot shower. How cool is that? I stood there for an hour.
How would you describe your music?
I always refer to it as, rock-based, because it can be loud at times, and experimental. But the way I see experimental is it's more just not so much trying to experiment, although there is a lot of that. It's more about just, trying to be as authentic as possible and not trying to be something else. You name it. I've played in drum and bugle corps. I've played in, I played classical music, country, folk music, and, rock and punk bands. So it's really a combination of all of that.
You've released 9 albums?
9 albums or collections of songs, all of varying lengths. Some really, with tons and tons of songs. Other with just a very small, like an EP kind of collection of songs. The newest stuff is probably the most digestible. And then if you're into that and you like it, it's good to work your way back and kind of see where it's all evolved from.
Wasted away on a dock in the gray by the morning light.
And has the Hazy Rhythm Wonder Band always just been you, or has there ever been other members?
It's always pretty much just been me. I've had a couple friends record a couple tracks, do a couple songs. I've also had my daughter record a couple violin tracks more recently, but other than that, it's pretty much just been a solo project.
What is the main inspiration behind songs like Not in That Way or Ghost Town?
Well, Not in That Way, that's actually was kind of one of the more popular videos I did. It's a song about unrequited love, lost love, all the hard parts about love. Such a universal theme that a lot of people can relate to. Ghost Town visits a theme that recurs a lot in the songs I do, which is nostalgia. Looking back at places where you've had these like awesome magical experiences, in the past, but realizing that time has just kind of moved on, and it's better to just focus more on the here and now and making the here and now like, the place where the magical, awesome experience is the best you can.
How would you describe your live shows?
Unfortunately, they're few and far between. It's hard enough to get live gigs for any band, but to do what I do, it's kind of hard to convince people to give this a chance. What happens in my live shows is I have a contraption that I built, which is basically a combination of a drum set, a couple keyboards, a glockenspiel, different ways to make bass sounds, guitars, and I play the instruments either simultaneously or in very rapid succession to try to get the full sound of a full rock style band. Incorporating visuals is a huge part of my live shows. I always have a projection screen behind me where videos and images that I've created or collected that help tell the story of the songs that are going. And then I like to use props or a lot of crazy lights.
Where did the sign start?
I think I first made business cards, had business cards printed and kind of left them in random places. And then I used to have a huge model railroad that you could walk into. I had like a backdrop where I would paint a sky on it. And at one point I replaced it, so I had all these old pieces of backdrop. So I had this board with a partial sky painted on it. And I took a Sharpie one night and just wrote HazyRhythmWonderBand.com on it. Nailed it to a stick and put it in the ground at the end of my road. And to my surprise, all of a sudden I was getting, a couple of visitors here and there, just, from that one sign. And from there, it just took off like crazy.
Who are some artists that inspire you to keep creating?
I was very influenced by the Flaming Lips. They just break every single rule as far as recording. And wow, you really can just do whatever you want, and it could be awesome. And Cheval Somber, well, he was a good friend of mine. We played music together, but he has over time exposed me to a tremendous amount of really authentic, great music, and I really appreciate his taste in music. When I'm recording and stuff, it's always kind of somewhere in the back of my mind, hey, what would he think of what I'm doing?
Once I felt smart till the wreck fell apart at the end of a dying road.
If someone wants to get a hold of you to book you for a live show or just talk to you, what's the best way to do so?
Definitely the website. On HazyRhythmWonderBand.com, there's a contact page, and I get back to people right away because I always appreciate anybody taking an interest in what I do.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for inviting me into your home, and this has been awesome.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate your interest.
So, if you're in the mood for something truly original and an icon of the Hudson Valley, hop on over to HazyRhythmWonderBand.com and tell them a puppet sent you. Also, tell your favorite venue or festival you need to see the Hazy Rhythm Wonder Band live. I know I do. Thank you!